Hello and welcome to Combat Corner. My name's Kobe.
I'm Jackson.
And, post UFC 297, we're both a little bit depressed, if I'm completely honest. Sean Strickland lost. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible fight card. But that's going to make for an entertaining episode of Combat Corner, so stick around and let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Corner.
Oh, wow.
What a noise.
Drink of the day today is Primo Chocolate Supremo flavored milk.
You supposed to shake it or something before?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me that on the front. It's not giving me illicit instructions there. Thank you to Ash for another drink suggestion. This isn't his first drink suggestion, is it?
I don't think so. What else did he suggest? Something,
but we'll thank him anyway. It looks like it does need a bit of a shake.
Cheers, Ash.
What are your first impressions?
On the bottom. Oh, it tastes good. It tastes like chocolate milk. I don't think I've ever had Primo chocolate milk though, so that's.
I was trying to
get.
I was going to get some calcium, just because that's it's a bit more Kiwiana. But the Z service station only had this or Nippies.
Right, Nippies is also good.
Nippies is also good. Nippies. Maybe we should do
a Nippies one time. One of the coffee ones. I love that. They're good. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's got a lot of calcium in it.
Yummers.
Being milk, it's got chocolate with it. So it's basically just milk mixed with chocolate. Deliciously creamy flavored milk made with real New Zealand milk. Servings per package 1, serving size 5. This is what we do now, right?
Yes.
You just read some arbitrary information.
What I was going to say, more or less, is that I don't think our listeners need an explanation on how chocolate milk is made.
They might be retarded.
It's just there's normal milk, and then there's chocolate. How do the two together? No one's sitting there.
There might be.
No,
you just did it.
No, but I was doing it to reenact how silly you sounded.
Well, okay. UFC 297 was a massive disappointment.
Yeah.
We were both really excited for it. Like, I think I said this is the most excited I've been for a UFC card. I didn't even get an example of since when, just in general. Like, this was one of the most excited I've ever been for a UFC card, and I was extremely disappointed with just everything about it. The prelims were kind of average too. There was some fun fights on the early prelims. There was a couple of good fights on the prelims, but the whole main card just disappointed.
Yeah. It didn't look like any of them really wanted to be there that much. I mean, apart from Sean and DDP was a good fight.
Yeah, it was. Very high level.
Very high level. It was, a very educated chess match at times. Do you know what I mean? They were both very well-rounded strikers. Very well-rounded mixed martial artists, really. In terms that Dricus did mix up a bit of wrestling in there, whether or not it inflicted enough.
He did basically no damage with his takedowns, but
right.
He was successful over and over again with the takedowns, which you have to say something about.
That's right.
Being able to take someone down like that is pretty impressive with ease like that. I mean, Sean got straight back up, which it's almost as if that should be just as impressive and important as the takedowns. The getting straight back up should outweigh the takedowns, kind of. But nonetheless, the takedowns were there, and they're an important part of a fight. They're an important part of the judging of a fight. How many times did he take him down? Like
6.
6 times.
I think it was 6. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the stats that people keep bringing up is that the total strikes and significant strikes were heavily weighed in Sean's favor. However, a lot of that difference was made in the first round. So he wins. That's a problem. Well, not the problem, but that's how MMA judging works, isn't it? It's judged round by round.
Yep.
So you can have completely outweighed stats at the end of the fight, but if it just comes down to that one round, then...
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it scored. It scored on the rounds. I mean, you look at that fight and you're kind of like, if only this could have somehow been a draw. So I don't think either of them deserved to win over the other one. You know, like
it was that close.
yeah,
I mean,
felt like a draw. You know,
it did, and even Drakus in his post fight press conference, kind of, he didn't seem as victorious as you'd expect of someone who's been talking about how this is their like
their crowning moment.
Yeah, a split decision win is not a big celebratory point for anyone, I don't think.
Yeah, especially when it's that close, and
especially when it's fighting for a belt.
And when you're fighting for a belt and it is that close, obviously, well done, Drakus. You know, I'm not mad that he won because, in all honesty, both of them kind of deserved not to lose. But it's like it's not like one of them won.
No. Like if they announced Sean as the winner at the end of that fight, I don't think there would have been anyone going, like there would have been just as many people as there are right now saying that Sean won. Roddy Ra, the same with
it's the same every time, right? Like close decision, one of the guys gets it. Everyone online just loves controversy and wants to say it's a robbery when it's not a robbery. That was not a robbery, like whatsoever. Both guys could have won that fight. It just depends on what the judges saw.
Yeah.
One of the weird things I saw the judging scorecards. None of them gave round 2 to Sean. None of them did. The one guy who gave Sean the win gave him 1, 3, and 5. They didn't give him 2, which is like weird because I thought that 2 was the swing round where it could have gone either way, and Drakus kind of took it on the takedown. The fact that he got the takedowns
was the end, wasn't it?
Towards the end. I think Sean landed slightly more, but it wasn't much more in that round. And then Drakus did get the takedowns, so that kind of swung it in his favor. 3 and 4 seemed like they were both Drakus's rounds, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that 2 was the one, but the judges somehow gave 2. Everyone gave 2 to Drakus, and one of them gave 3 to Sean.
Yeah,
everyone gave 5 and 1 to Sean. Apart from that,
it's a weird one. It is. I had it 2-2 going into the 5th, and I thought that Sean won the 5th round.
Same here.
So yeah, I wasn't blown away by the decision.
No.
Anyway, moving on from decision chat. So it's likely that we're going to see Drakus fight Izzy next.
I believe so.
think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like big fight wise, it's the only option unless you do a rematch. I don't think there's another obvious contender for the belt outside of Izzy or a rematch with Strickland. Like, who else would you give it to? You know,
Yep,
you've
no,
got
that's right.
like Rob is fighting Costa, so that's a pretty good one to put someone back in the mix for a potential shot of the belt or contendership. You got Brendan Allen, who's kind of working his way up, but nowhere near close enough to the belt. You got Cannonier, who obviously he was the last guy to beat Sean before Drakus. He's there, but he's been very inactive and he hasn't really fought in a while. He needs to fight someone before he gets his shot. I really see the only guy who has been active. Izzy's last fight was less than a year ago, a lot less than a year ago. It was like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I think he's the only option, unless Alex Pereira wants to come back down and do his thing.
Surely not.
No, I don't think that.
Surely Alex just doesn't.
I don't want to see that.
No. Alex is like just acting like Sean Strickland's big brother at this point and just has to go and deal with all the guys that are beating him.
Yeah.
So Sean can then come back and
beat them again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see Alex come down. Honestly, I think that was a joke. His post. I think that was a joke.
Oh wait, did he joke about it? I didn't see that.
He said one last rodeo at middleweight? Question mark. But no, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna do it.
It'd be silly too. I've been thinking about.
Think?
Yeah, no, I think Izzy's the obvious option. I really want to see that fight too.
Yeah, same.
Because I
got
do
a big
think
fight feel about it.
It does. It has a big fight feel about it, which we had going into this weekend as well. But also, I just think that would bring a bit more of a fire out of Drakus. I think there was the beginnings of that at the start of the build up to this Sean versus Drakus fight, but it very quickly fizzled out when people's feelings got hurt. And then, there was kind of a bit more of a mature.
I think they had a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah.
And that kind of.
And I don't think
Yes.
there will be that same level of respect
No.
between Izzy and Drakus. And I hope there isn't, because Izzy hasn't given Drakus the respect right off the bat. So
it would make it a much more interesting, entertaining fight if they've both got a chip on their shoulder going into it, for sure. But I think that could be a big mistake for Drakus. Because I think if Izzy comes back, he's going to be firing on all cylinders. It's going to be the best Izzy that we've seen, unless he's past his physical prime. I think that he's going to be focused, motivated, and he's going to want to get it done. And when we see Izzy in that form, like against Alex the second time, that's a dangerous guy, and he's got excellent game planning. He's got an insane fight IQ and a crazy ability to change things up on the fly. So if Drakus doesn't show him any respect, that's I don't know, that's going to make it tough for him.
Yeah,
against a top performing Izzy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, yeah, I think that's the one and only fight, and I think it's pretty ideal if they can turn around for 300 in April. That's like what else are you going to put on the headliner?
Well, I mean, Dana reckons that he's going to have 300 announced this week, the main event.
I wonder why he waited till this week, eh?
Well, look, I don't know. If you looked at Drakus after that fight, he looked pretty beaten up. Whether or not he's able to turn around and make April, it's not that far away now.
No, it's 4 months.
It's not even that, is it?
We're
nearly at the end of January.
End of April, I believe.
Well, we're nearly at the end of January, so you got February, March, April. That's 3 months.
Yeah.
So he's got to have at least a week or two off after that.
I think if he doesn't have any serious bodily injuries, then your face heals up pretty quick. Give it 3 weeks, he'll be back full contact training. 2-month fight camp.
Yeah, it's doable. I'm not saying that, but we've seen him pull out of. He had a long time to sort that injury out the first time, but
well, I think
it's yeah. I personally think it's too soon. I think there will be a possibility that we see Alex Pereira being the headliner for UFC 300.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of the two. Either Izzy versus Duplessis or Alex versus someone. You can just pick and choose. But last time he was injured properly, I believe he had a proper injury. This time, I don't think he mentioned any injuries, Drakus. So if it is just cosmetic injuries, it's a definite possibility. Last time I think he was asked to turn around on 2 or maybe it was 3 months' notice. I can't remember what the difference between his fight against Rob was. I think it was about 2 months he was asked to turn around in, which is tough when he had, I think did he break his hand or something?
I think it was a foot related injury, possibly.
Broke his foot or something. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait for that announcement. You will see our instant reaction right afterwards when that is announced.
Moving on, I think Sean Strickland should fight the winner of Rob Whittaker and Paulo Costa in a title eliminator.
Yeah.
I think that is a good fight, just based on the fact he hasn't faced either of them before. And I think all of the styles out of the three of them there, they all bring things to the table that could potentially, put the other guy on the back foot in terms of a skill set kind of wise. I think we saw Drakus really work with his kind of blitz against Sean on the weekend, and that's a style that Rob also implements. He kind of comes in swinging and then is very good at managing his distance and getting out quickly as well. So kind of getting in and out and not getting hit. And Paulo Costa just...
What does he do? I can't even remember.
Yeah, it's been so long.
It's been how long? 2 years now?
He does just have extremely
He's explosive.
He's explosive, yeah. If he
He'll
hits
come on
you...
that ass.
Hey?
He'll come on that ass. It's a reference. Aljamain Sterling. Piotr Jan, I'm coming on that ass. I'm coming for that ass.
Right.
Funny.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that's the fight to make there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. You could give him a rematch with Cannonier, but that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
There's Chimaev, but I mean, he doesn't deserve a shot against Strickland, but that would be a fun fight and a fun build up. You could even put that as a pay-per-view headliner, like in all honesty, or a 5-round co-main event of a pay-per-view.
Yep.
He's got options. Strickland is a star, and things are just getting started for him. You know, losing this belt means nothing. Is nothing bad for Strickland, especially in the way he lost it. You know, it was a very, very close fight. People are going to want to see him fight for the belt again, no matter what. You know, he could wait out if Izzy beats Duplessis, or if Duplessis beats Izzy. He could honestly just probably get an instant rematch with either of those guys.
Yeah, but you're risking. You know, you've got some middleweight fights booked at the moment that are like between Rob and Paulo. Like, if one of those guys wins in impressive fashion, then they could be right in there.
No, I'm not saying he should, but
yeah,
he with his star power now, like the guy is a star. People like he's huge. Sean Strickland is huge.
I agree.
He's a big star. He can kind of do what he wants at this point.
No leash.
No leash. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that fight. It was a sad day for Sean Strickland, to my right. What do you have to say, Sean?
Hey, you guys. It was a sad day for Sean fans, but I mean, the thing is, it's probably a sadder day for Sean fans than it was for Sean. I mean, the belt, like he said from the beginning, doesn't really mean anything. There always was going to be a time where he loses it anyway.
Yep.
So I mean, I think we're going to see the exact same guy back in the cage again. There's no doubt about that. The exact same guy back in the press conferences. This is going to take nothing away from who he is, or take anything away from his stock as a fighter.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we should move on to the co-main event.
So that's that fight broken down. Should we move on to the third fight on the card?
What it was
shit.
I could have slept. Honestly, I nearly fell asleep.
Yeah. There was I just kept getting to the point where fucking Bruno Silva would pull guard, and I just pull out my phone and just be like scrolling, because I just knew nothing was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Pennington was making like stupid decisions.
Yep. It's a miracle that she won that fight.
Yeah,
it was engaging in all of the areas that Silva should have had an advantage.
Yeah.
And for some reason,
Silva had gassed at that point.
Yeah.
She almost got a couple, like there was a few submission attempts, but she was too gassed at that point to even
there was one point where she'd sunk in some sort of, was it a rear naked choke
at one point?
Ninja choke. One of them looked pretty on there at one point, but Pennington just managed to slip out of it, stayed calm.
And I mean, after the first round, Pennington started lighting her up a bit with her hands, but she'd light her up with her hands, push her against the fence, and then clinch. And her coaches were screaming, "Box with her. You're better at, like, your striking is far superior.
Yeah,
just keep hitting, just keep striking with her. Stop pushing up to the fence and letting her take you down, or taking her. It's
every time she threw a combination, she landed something
pretty hard as well. There were some pretty hard shots. Like Bruno Silva wasn't employing any head movement. He was just looking to pull guard. She was exhausted. Never want to see her fight for a belt again.
If this is the best that the bantamweight division has at the moment,
get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we need something else.
I saw a comment.
I understand Pena is waiting there in the realms. She's injured at the moment. She's obviously had some luck in that division, being a previous champion and being one of the only women who have beaten Amanda Nunes. Was it the only woman?
No, there was a few before.
So, like that was a very impressive feat for her. But like we spoke about, I think she kind of caught her more off guard than anything.
She dragged her into a dogfight where she won.
Yeah.
But in the second fight, it's almost like you just see Amanda Nunes sat in the crowd and you're just like, oh, she could just step in there right now in a fucking casual outfit and beat the shit out of both of them at the same time. Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
And I was like thinking, fuck, if Ronda Rousey really wants to come back now. She'd probably beat these women. They're terrible.
Can we bring up the bantamweight
sure
rankings?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't good, man. It was not good. And yeah, like I say with Ronda Rousey, it's like if I was her, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe it is time for a fucking UFC comeback. Like, because I think that it would be 50-50, but you know, she'd probably have some decent luck. So we've got Pennington, Juliana Pena set at number 1, you know, rightfully so. And then you've got Pennington and Silva, who just fought, obviously. Pennington is now the champ. And then, I mean, you've got Irene Aldana, who recently lost to Amanda Nunes. You know, she's fiery. Holly Holmes there, but she's way past it. Misha Tate lost recently. I'm thinking like star-wise and
past it.
Yeah, a bit past it. You've got Michael Chandler.
They have 2 9th ranked fighters and not a 10th ranked
on the screen.
Can you see that? It goes 8, 9, 9, and then 11.
Well, none of these fighters are popping out to me as fighters that should be anywhere near a belt. It's almost like they should just retire this belt and move on. Like, I really like. I saw this comment and it said Raquel's Pennington's first title defense should be on the prelims. Honestly, though, fuck that. Like, it's
if this was any other fight, if this wasn't a championship fight, there would be so much worse. Like, so many. Like, Dana would be very outspoken about how terrible that fight was. I think
if it was but like the thing is, if it wasn't a championship fight, it would be on the prelims, and it would be a 3-round fight, and it would have been a boring decision that we all just moved past and completely forgot about. But it's because it's got a fucking title on it, and it bored the ever-living hell out of everyone. We've got to talk about it, and I'm just sick of it. Like, I don't want to see any of these people fight for the belt, apart from Pena. Once Pena wins, I don't give a shit about this division at all. Like,
once she wins, it's just like writing everyone off. And
she's gonna. Grasso would beat these guys, and she's like 20 pounds less. Fucking Shevchenko would beat these guys. Wei Li would beat these guys. The bantamweight, it's like there's other women's divisions that are actually doing well, and yeah, it's super interesting. Like Wei Li versus Zhao Nan is going to be a hell of a fight. You know, Grasso, what's she going to do next? Like, that's going to be super exciting. You've got Grasso versus Wei Li, maybe. And again, if you're Wei Li, you're like, fuck, maybe I'll make the move up. You know?
What, 2 weight divisions?
Yeah, why not? She's fucking jacked. It's like Vanderlei Silva.
Shevchenko, another person who could...
Yeah, Shevchenko, yeah. She could make the move up for good.
Yeah. So yeah, there are options, but they're all in other divisions.
It's just, yeah. I mean, like, Jessica Andrade, she should move up. She could win the belt now. You know what I mean? Like, even though she was originally fighting at strawweight, she, like, it's just such a massive skill level. Amanda Ribas, better than these girls. John Jones. He's, you know, we've seen that he's pretty decent against women. Fucking oh God, it's such a, I'm sick of it, and I'm moving the fuck on.
Yeah.
We're moving on. Sick of it, Dana. Not your fault, buddy. Not your fault. Buy Bellator or something. Take their women's division. Third fight on the main card of UFC 297 was weird. Again, just adding to the fact that this card was absolutely dog shit. Like, yeah, just really not good. Let me just pull up the card here. So we had Mike Mallow, who was like basically riding a whole load of hype coming into this, right? The Nelk boys were there. The Nelk boys are obviously from Canada. It was like his big breakout moment. You know, he was going to be Canada's next big thing. And he was so close to becoming that. If he just won this fight, you know, you propel him into a main event in Canada against, you know, another top contender, exciting fight. You know, you try and build him as a star. He was 2.5 rounds in. He was 30 seconds away from realizing it. It was
one of those Leon Edwards moments. You know what I mean? Like, even the commentary team had counted out Neil Magny.
Yeah, it was done.
Everyone was talking about, you know, what's next for this guy already.
Yeah,
And
and rightfully so. He dominated for two and a half rounds, even longer than that, you know? Yeah,
he
and
gassed, and then there was just all of a sudden, like the click of your fingers, there was just nothing left.
no, and you knew it was going to happen, which was random because it's like Magny had nothing, and Magny is not a finisher. Magny is someone who grinds out decisions against people who aren't quite as good as him, and he uses his range and his wrestling to grind out a decision. He got finished by an old Neil Magny who just got absolutely torn to shreds by Ian Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy gets finished by him in such an embarrassing fashion. I kind of feel bad for him, Mike Mallow.
Yeah.
Because, like, bro, he had so much riding on this.
Because what's next? You know, he's now going to be going back to fighting someone most likely outside the top 15.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be, right? Like,
Probably have to grind out another couple of fights on the fringes of the rankings, and then we will probably see him make another comeback if he can manage to take care of those people.
And people on the fringes of welterweights top 15, there's some dangerous guys there, man. You know, so he's 32 years old. I watched a bit of a breakdown by MMA Guru about this guy after his loss. He was like, yeah, he's 32 years old now. He had the opportunity of a lifetime, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He got so close, and he failed at the very final moment. Got to be a rough time of his life right now.
Yeah.
Like, he must be thinking, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy that was supposed to get this win and walk off in spectacular fashion, and he just didn't.
No.
Failed miserably, and yeah.
I agree. I feel bad for him too. Neil Magny, however.
Feel good for him.
Yeah.
Good on him.
It's
a good moment for him.
It would take a lot to, like, I think there was a point in the fight where Mallow had a choke, like, that looked almost on. And I was just saying to everyone I was watching with, I was like, I don't understand why Magny isn't just tapping. Like, what is he actually going to do?
What's the point? Yeah, what's the point?
What is the point?
Yeah.
He'd looked defeated, since about halfway through the first round.
Yeah, he looked like he had nothing for him.
Yeah,
Punches weren't doing anything.
And then he turns it around and does that. It was like, that, I guess, is a reason not to tap.
Yeah, exactly. It was a bit of a feel-good moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fact that that Mike Mallow was so disappointing, it also kind of sapped the feel-goodness out of it. There was one thing that people said, the slam from Neil Magny when Mike pulled guard and he tried to go on that guillotine and he pulled standing guard and he got slammed. Apparently, some people were saying that might have really winded him bad, which could have led to him not being able to fight back. But, like, come on, there's 15 seconds left. You're not scrambling. You're not trying to, like, you're not bucking. You're not trying to swing your legs to make a bit of room and get out of the mount.
Kind of was trying to cover his head.
Yeah.
And not really doing anything else.
And as soon as you do that, even if you're not going to get knocked out, the ref's going to stop it.
That's right.
And it's the ref, you know, he could have stopped it sooner.
Yeah.
He really could've.
Yeah. I was saying, like, okay, like, all right.
Come on, like, fucking stop the fight. It was almost like the ref was like, oh, I'll try and wait it out to see if he's going to do anything because he's in Canada and he, you know, like, he wanted him to win.
Should we bring up the rankings again and see who we should match?
Let's match these guys up.
Well, I think we've already said. Well, no, we haven't given a name, have we? For
yeah, we haven't given a name, but we kind of know what's going on there.
Someone on the fringes for Mallow.
You're looking at a Joaquin Buckley type for Mike Mallow. On the fringes, outside of the top 15. Big name, good
Has he
opportunity.
come down
to
from
springboard.
middleweight?
Yeah, he has.
Huh.
He's been fighting his last few at 170.
Yeah, I think that's probably
big name, right? If he can bounce back and get a win against the likes of,
then that puts him right back in there.
Yeah, that keeps it. It's kind of like a bit of a gift. Like, right, this is your last chance. You beat Joaquin Buckley. He's got a name. He will give you another top 15 guy in a good spot.
Yeah.
But at 32, it's going to be tricky for him, especially, you know, against a guy as powerful as him. Neil Magny, though, on the other hand, he's got to fight up the rankings. Let's give him one more chance, you know, to get up there. There's not too many people that he hasn't already fought.
He fought Vicente Luque?
I think he has. I know he's fought Jeff Neal.
Neil Magny. Oh, excuse me.
Luque. No. So, yeah, that could be it. Be the one, but I think Vicente Luque's booked.
Know
Think
about that.
he might be booked, or I heard rumblings. Yeah, Sean Brady. He's booked against Sean Brady, so maybe he wants to take a bit of time off. Who knows? He could wait for the winner of that fight. But then Sean Brady, and neither of those guys will want to wait. You're looking at a.
What about Wonder Boy? That could
Wonder
be a
Boy.
fun fight.
That could be a fun fight. Two older guys, see who really wants it.
Saying that, it probably would come down to Magny's wrestling.
Yeah.
Could potentially just.
Could be a fun fight.
It could be.
Two older guys who, either Magny gets his wrestling going or he gets teeped to shit and then gets knocked out.
True.
So, should we say that? Wonder Boy versus Magny.
Yeah.
Give Wonder Boy a good knockout to finish off his career.
Run it up.
Yeah, something like that. Moving on. Fourth fight down on the card, Chris Curtis. He got the dub.
Another boring fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I didn't mind this fight, personally.
No?
I thought it was quite fun. The boxing in the pocket was all right. Like this, I thought it was okay.
It took too long to warm up for me.
Yeah, the third round it started really getting going, but
yeah, by that stage it was too late. Was this just a straight out complete decision, or was it a split decision?
This was a split decision. Yeah. There was a 30-27 for Curtis, 29-28 for Barryu, and then there was a 29-28 for Curtis. I thought Barryu got one round.
No, I think you're right.
The first round, I'd say.
And that's due to Chris Curtis's kind of boxing heavy style. He is kind of looking for reads.
But then he managed to drag him in to his fight.
Yeah. No,
Second, third round, and then he ran away with it, landing the bigger punches, a lot of body shots.
I think the third round was only so good because Barryu realized that he had to get a finish.
Exactly.
And he couldn't quite find the mark. But by that stage, yeah, it was Chris had dragged him into the fight that he wanted. It's a bit of a he's a counter fighter. He's always gonna look to bring you into the center of the octagon and force you to throw first.
Yeah.
And so yeah, by that stage he was well within his comfort zone.
Yeah, he loves fighting in the pocket. And he's got much more power, and he's got great short hooks, body shots.
A pretty decent chin.
Yeah, great chin, and he's also, just the boxing on Chris is fucking crisp, man. He's got some real good basic fundamental boxing skills.
Yeah.
If he really wanted it, I feel like he could make a push up to the top of the division, but I just don't think he wants it as much as the guys that are up there, He just wants fun fights, and not much to say, really. Like, again, another fight that just didn't live up to expectation. There was one finish on the main event of this card,
and it was Neil Magny.
Yeah, and it was barely even a finish.
Yeah,
it was just like a.
It wasn't a finish. It was more the other guy gave up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like Neil. Yeah, he was having a wank. Nothing came out. He did finish, but there was no end product.
Yeah. He had like a little bit of a muscle spasm, but looked down,
cramp in his
looked down, and his tissues were just
dry,
or
maybe bloody cum, just like a small amount of bloody cum,
bit of blum.
And then he had to go to the doctor. That's the type of finish that this was. He did finish, but
what are you looking for?
So let's match up these guys.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, mate.
Chris,
so yeah, Chris was set at 14. He's not going to move because the guy wasn't even in the rankings. Fucking hell. Chuck him in there against Anthony Hernandez or Paul Craig. He's already lost to Amamov. Well, he didn't lose to him. He got poked in the eye and it had to get called off.
Right.
But I don't want to see him up against someone too high up. Jack Manson's got to fight. Hamza versus Chris Curtis.
Yep.
Fuck me. Is that what you want to see?
Yep. Book it, Dana.
Right, Dana. We want Chris Curtis to die. So yeah, give him to Hamzat Chimaev. Honestly, that fight would last about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
God, can't wait. I just fucking want Hamzat to be more reliable and consistent. Because imagine how cool it would be if he fought like 3 times a year.
That'd be
so hyped when he fights. But anyway, so Chris Curtis versus Chimaev or Paul Craig. Honestly, either of those two I'd be happy with. And then Barryu, he's got to go back down to like a non-contender, Really, he's older. Maybe he's got to reconsider his options. Yeah, someone on the fringes of top 15, like he was. Just another guy.
Exactly.
Maybe he wants to fight
Himself.
Mike Mallow. Maybe they're both Canadian. Maybe that's like goes against their Canadian code.
Different weight classes.
Oh, bro, are they?
Yes.
Oh yeah, middleweight, welterweight. Well, he can drop down.
Oh, okay. Oh, as long as you think he can drop down.
Yeah.
It's the main thing, eh?
Arnold Allen versus Evliov. I absolutely despise this fight too.
Yeah.
Pretty shit. I mean, there was some interesting moments, but it was pretty boring. There wasn't too much that happened.
It was. Neither of them, again, looked like they wanted it that bad.
Yeah.
Like, Evloev looked like he was pretty happy to just sit back. He knew he was the better wrestler. It looked like he was more there to test his striking. And somehow he did quite well on the feet against Arnold Allen.
He did well. Allen was very timid to go in there because he was afraid of the takedown, I think.
Yeah. And his stance was odd, man. Like,
yeah, he
looked like if he leaned any further forward, he'd be falling over.
Yeah. I think he was just waiting for the takedown.
Yeah.
That's why his coach said, keep the arm down. If you keep your arm down and he shoots, you're going to be able to defend the takedown. That's what their thought was. But
then you kept getting clipped.
Yeah, and then he got clipped a bunch. There was a moment, though. Like, I thought Allen won the first, and then I thought Evliov won the second and the third.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a moment where, towards the end of the fight, Allen got him with a couple of knees that were perfectly legal.
Yeah.
They were legal.
That's the only thing to note from this fight. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like they were legal knees, and the fight got stopped. Evliov looked a bit rocked after the fight was stopped. He opened a big cut. Mark Goddard steps in and warns Allen, gives Evliov, like 2 or 3 minutes to recover, and then nothing else really happened after that. So who knows if that didn't get stopped? Legal knees, first of all. That didn't get stopped. Who knows what might have happened,
Yeah.
That could have won Allen the round, or it could have potentially led to a finish or something.
That's right. I mean, so the argument there was his hand was on the ground. So don't you need 2 hands to be on the ground to be grounded, or is it a knee?
One, but it has to be firmly planted on the ground.
Weight bearing.
Yeah, weight bearing. But his hand was
brushing the ground.
That's why they changed the rules, because they had too many people just touching the floor to be like, I'm grounded, which is essentially like cheating in a way, because you're not grounded. You're just doing that on purpose, which is what he was trying to do. He was trying to put his hand on the ground to avoid knees. But his hand was lifting up and down because Allen was pulling him up and then kneeing him. So that is not illegal. It's not an illegal strike. And I think it's a bullshit rule anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be allowed, like wrestlers, it gives them a free defense essentially against knees. They go in for the takedown, they fail, but they keep their hand on the ground and they can't get kneed. It's like, these wrestlers need to be taught a fucking lesson.
That's right.
Just
if you're going to
shoot.
put your head right there, like in within range of my knee.
In cock.
Yeah. If you're going to go crotch sniffing, expect for your legs to stiffen, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Expect to go stiff if your head is next to my cock. But anyway, that was super frustrating. Pissed me off. Mark Goddard again in controversy with his reffing. I mean, I think he's a good ref overall.
He's one of the better ones that we're left with at the moment.
Yeah, but he
Which
just
is saying
seems to
something.
make loads of mistakes. Yeah, super annoying. And fuck you, Evliov.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
You're just a bit of a butthurt palm at the moment, aren't you?
I am. I'll say it. It was
Burping
bullshit.
right into the mic.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the card. It was a massive disappointment. Hopefully next fight, next card. That was the opener to 2023. We wanted some fireworks. We wanted something. And the main event delivered, but it was so close and it was a disappointing result. And, the rest of the card was just shit.
Can we bring up the prelims just quickly? I think it was the prelim.
There was some controversy on the prelims as well.
This woman's fight, down the bottom there.
Oh, yeah, Robertson versus Polyana Viana. I called this one.
That was a weird fight to watch. Wait. No, I don't think this is the one. Maybe the
Are you
early
thinking about the
prelims.
early?
Yeah, that one.
This one, the one who fought no one.
Yeah, that could have been stopped so many times.
Yeah,
I think that she outstruck her 303 to 20.
303.
It was something like that, dude. It
Jesus
was
Christ.
insane.
See if they've record-setting slam down.
She had a 10-7 round in the second round. That is the fifth 10-7 round in UFC history.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, true. Apparently she's a standout for cheating as well. Free eye
Standout for
poke,
cheating.
quick cup check. Yeah, the one who lost, that is.
Well, yeah, no. The one who lost, they had to fight at a catch weight or at
Because she missed weight.
a higher weight class or
Yeah.
something.
She missed weight by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, apparently she's a notorious cheat, and thank God she lost then.
There was one point where she was just.
Yuck.
There was one point where she was caught in a crucifix for like a good minute and a half, and was just. But the problem was, who was the other person? I'm not even going to attempt that.
Jasmine Jusrijic.
Yep, that. She wasn't being active enough on the ground and hunting the finish out, until obviously she submitted her. But yeah, man, that fight was a weird one to
Crazy.
watch. It was pretty crazy, and yeah, I think there was so many arguments for like it being a bit of a later stoppage.
Yeah.
Like, what more do you need to see when there's a round that is a 10-7?
That essentially means the fight should have been stopped.
Yeah,
If there's a 10-7, like it's like, come on, man, stop the fight.
yeah.
Well, yeah. There was a couple of other fights on the prelims. Gillian Robertson, sorry. She pretty much dominated Viana. Viana showing some mettle to survive as long as she did. But rightfully got the finish. As I said on the breakdown, Viana just doesn't. I just don't feel like she's really in it. Like, she used to go out with Colby Covington.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Poor lady.
Like father, like son. And then, yeah, Sade versus Travares was an odd one.
I thought that
It was a good
that
fight.
City won that.
So did I. I thought he won the second and the third. But it was, I think, and Travares also missed weight.
I
Which
think
was a
that was the
shame.
first fight that he missed weight because this was a
thought he-
rematch, I believe.
Oh, right. I'm pretty sure he did on this fight. I could be wrong, though. But we'll have a look. See if there's any headlines.
Yeah, because I think this is the second time that they.
Yeah, they fought in the Contender Series. Yeah, he missed weight. Holy shit. Was that on the Contender Series 2 days ago? Oh my god, he missed weight by a lot.
Oh, hey.
Second time in his last 3 fights. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, that's not on, eh?
That's not on at all. 127.5 and 139.75.
Malcolm Gordon wasn't fighting.
Oh, that's a different
That's
right,
a
yes.
different
Sorry.
fighter.
So he missed weight by a significant amount, and then he
4.5
called himself
pounds.
a professional after the fact in this post-fight speech. He was like, "I'm a professional," but he's missed weight twice out of his last 3 fights, or 3 out of his last 5. So
There's not much
no,
professionalism going on there.
but I was of the same opinion. I thought City won. I thought his striking was really clean,
Yeah.
and the last 2 rounds, I don't think he really got hit by that much.
No.
First round, he got pretty beat up.
Big time.
But, he came back, and that was a bit of a war, that one. I
It
thought that
was.
was fight of the night.
Yeah, I thought it should have been too.
Hmm.
Charles Jourdain versus Sean
Yeah,
Woodson.
that was fucked.
That
up.
was so funny, man. The end of that fight when the
Yeah.
confusion.
Because Bruce kind of called, like, John,
Yeah.
and it sounded like Charles,
Yeah.
instead of, like, saying Sean.
I would like, and they kind of look fairly similar if you're not a big fan of either of them, like
Yeah.
you don't know, like it was. Yeah, that was such an odd moment
It was.
for the sport, and even the camera guy got fooled by it.
Yeah.
Um,
And the ref as well raised the hand. You'd think the ref would know beforehand.
No, I think the ref's
No?
just going off what
they
Brucey
say.
Boy's saying too.
Mm. But nonetheless, Sean Woodson he won. I thought he won.
Yeah.
He was just Charles Jourdain just kept failing at his attempts to do anything, and Woodson was just a lot bigger, much
Did you
taller.
see that photo of him?
The fat, yeah, when he was fat.
What's going on there? Was that real?
Yeah, I think so.
So there's
he
a
used to be a
photo
boxer.
for people that don't know what we're talking about of him at 215 pounds. And he is now fighting at featherweight, which is 145 pounds.
Try and find this photo. If we'll be able to find it on here. But yeah, I think he said he was 20 years old. Here's a video. See if we can find a good moment from here.
Goodness me. But yeah, just...
So take a look at this, guys. This is Sean Woodson in his boxing debut. So look at him. Oh my God, he's huge.
He's in the blue shorts.
Now he's fighting at 145.
So this would be heavyweight.
Yeah.
Like he's, let's say light heavyweight, just because it's 10 pounds removed. But
yeah, crazy.
that is a huge drop.
He's a big guy.
At 6'2" and a half.
2. Mm-hmm.
It's just massive for a featherweight. How tall is Volk?
He's like
he's like 4'8", isn't he?
4'8". Yeah, he is. No, he's 8'4", actually. I think he's about 5'6".
Yeah, that's incredible.
So someone like Sean, imagine Volk versus him. I mean, he'd probably end up taking him down and demolishing him, but like striking wise, how could he fucking reach him? But yeah, Sean Woodson's going to be a problem if he can keep going. You know, his takedown defense was on point.
Yeah, that was impressive. And it, like, at that, with the length that he has in those legs, it would be a lot easier to frame up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, escape those takedown attempts. So
there was one more fight on the preliminary card. Brad Katona with a very disappointing performance. Is he going to get cut again? Will he be back in the UFC in the Ultimate Fighter TV show for the 3rd time? Can he win it 3 times? He's won it twice.
Yeah, I know this, but
disappointing though. He won the 3rd, I thought, but you know, he didn't land as much in the first 2, and you know, he got outboxed. And fair play, he lost. Upset win. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That is the card.
It was not a fun card at all, really.
No, I'd give it a
2 out
half
of 10.
a star.
Not good.
Well,
I was saying,
a star
like,
and 2 out of 10 is the same. No?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I suppose so.
If I'm going 5 stars. Wow. No,
it would be 1.
Yeah, it would be 1.
But
I'm not a mathematician.
I got what you meant. Half a star.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Dana White. In the... Look, we're not going to do this. We're not doing this. Okay.
Hey, go then.
We have enough problems.
If you want to copy me.
Fucking reverb already. For you. Dana White in the post-fight press conference got asked some interesting questions around having a leash on the things that certain people can say, which he very quickly shut down.
Yeah, and fucking good on you, Dana. I think free speech is important in sport. You know, we all say that politics should be left out of sport, and I pretty much agree with that. I mean, just in general, let people say what the fuck they want to say.
Yeah,
especially when it's a sport on personality. Like, personality is extremely important to the UFC. And if you start cutting off people's ability to speak their mind, then it gets boring.
No, I agree. Because yeah, that is a big part. Like, nowadays, it's one thing to have a favorite fighter based on, what they're doing inside the cage, but we see so much of them outside of the cage now. It's just as easy to kind of align with someone based on their opinions. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. And
that is a very dangerous thing that has really been stirred up in the media this week, is people wanting to suppress certain people's ideas just because they don't like them.
Yeah. No, yeah, it has been frustrating, and it's a lot of bait from these guys that come to these press conferences, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to prod this guy, and I'm going to get a reaction, and I'm going to post it and make it seem a lot worse than it was. I mean, when it comes to Sean, you don't have to make it a lot worse than it was because he just speaks exactly what's on his
You
mind.
know what he's going to say.
Yeah, and he's going to be controversial. And like Dana said, if you don't want to hear what he's got to say, don't ask him. Like, you just, I don't know, it is annoying. Gave me goosebumps listening to him say that, though. I was like, fuck yes, man. Stand up for yourself. Like, Dana's a bad man. He's a bad, bad man. He's got balls, and he is not willing to, what?
He's not willing to what?
He's not willing to back down to the liberal left.
Mm.
You know, the social justice warriors. So good on Dana for that. You know, whatever you think about Sean Strickland, whatever, it's free speech. He's got a right to say what he believes, and
you guys give him
don't
the
listen
right
to it.
Like these press conferences, right? They were put there in the first place to talk about the upcoming fights, and now they're used as this prop to get
clicks.
Yeah, to get clicks, to get different people's opinions on certain matters that you know you don't agree with them on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you don't want to hear about Sean Strickland's political opinions, stop asking him questions about it.
It all just comes back to this stupid fucking cancel culture shit that we are now immersed in as a society.
Mm-hmm.
No one like that. You hear about it in so many different industries, right? There's like podcasting, for example. You know, we could sit here and you see it all the time. You see like different YouTube channels and different podcasts like slagging off Joe Rogan, and these are podcasts with maybe the same level of interaction as us. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, the only reason, the obvious reason there, is that these people are down here and this guy's all the way up here, right? So they feel like if I slag him off, then it kind of, you know, might elevate me somewhat or bring him down. It's not about bringing yourself up. It's about bringing others down. So Sean Strickland has been saying this shit his entire career. He's been very outspoken about, like, we'll say the trans community, we'll say the gay community, we'll say like all of these kind of taboo topics that most people will kind of pussyfoot around and avoid the questions on. But he just gives his honest opinion. Whether or not you agree with it, that's up to you. But yeah, it is sad because these press conferences are all of a sudden not about the sport. They are about politics.
Yeah, they're about politics and drama and trying to get clicks from certain fighters. And as well, I've got to bring up, like, Sean Strickland doesn't put things in the greatest way in terms of, you know, being media friendly, and he's not very media trained. So even if he's like trying to put his opinions out there, often it's easily taken out of context because he's not the most well-spoken guy in the world. But at the end of the day, he always tries to end it with, I don't care what the fuck you do. I don't care who you love. You can be gay, you can do whatever you want, I don't care. Stop trying to push this agenda onto children.
Yeah.
And stop trying to cancel people with this cancel culture. And like you said, stop trying to bring people down for their opinions. Stop with the negativity. It's the negativity is the biggest problem in this entire world, no matter what you believe in. It's just this negative bullshit that everyone spews on about, trying to get clicks and trying to bring people down and demonize people for their opinions.
And this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think a lot of the reason why you find these communities trying to pull people like that down is because their agendas aren't getting any traction with the majority of society. Like, the majority of society is looking at half of the stuff that, I'm not going to say all of the stuff, because, you know, there is some people out there that really do struggle with these issues, and it is a serious issue for some people. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but what I'm saying is, you're pushing it onto people. You think that these people need to be educated about it. Look, I don't personally think I need to be that educated on that, because it doesn't affect me personally. I can go my day-to-day life without needing to know what's going on with that culture or with what operation so-and-so is getting. Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't affect me personally. I can go to the quick Kiwi diner in the morning, get my breakfast. I can go to work and come home, and I haven't had a fucking thought about it.
No.
So quite personally, like it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, and like again, equal rights for every human being. No one should be discriminated on their opinion, on their race, or whatever.
Yeah.
No one should be discriminated against for their choices or who they are. But stop forcing the shit down everyone's throats and stop, and especially like Sean says, stop force feeding it to kids. Stop trying to give kids your opinion on gay rights or gay people or who you should be allowed to have sex with. They don't need to know about this shit. They do not need to know about this shit.
You figure it out on your own.
That's the issue. Yeah. It's not like everyone hates trans. It's nothing to do with that, but stop force feeding everyone this information that you believe is right when science proves you wrong. So, you know what? Fuck it. Don't give a shit. Love you, Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
I'll double off on that.
Because you look kind of like him. I don't think you look
review
like
this drink?
lots like him.
Because I'm getting way too
I need to
sweaty,
piss.
Way too hot and sweaty.
Do you find if it's hot and you're like sweating a lot, you also need to piss more? Like it's like you're sweating out of the hole in your penis. I don't know whether that's a thing.
Sweating out of the hole in your penis.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going to just completely skip over that.
I just want to know. All right.
No,
Primo.
it doesn't seem to affect my bladder, to
Doesn't?
answer your question properly.
It does for me. I took like 15 pisses yesterday.
These guys make a number of different flavored milks. You can find them in lime, strawberry, and banana, I believe.
Yuck. I don't like lime milk.
No, yeah.
Good. Aiden quite likes it.
Maybe we should try it.
Should we give it a go? Is that Aiden's recommendation? We can say that.
I'm going to ask Aiden.
I think he likes lime milk. Or like, I think he liked lime thick shakes. But anyways.
I told him, can we just stay on the top of Aiden real quick? Just because I mentioned that we talked about his the high sugar diet or something like briefly, and he keeps asking me like, "What'd you say?" And I really can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
But
either.
I think it's just funny to keep bringing him up because now I will go home and I'll be like, "Oh, look, we talked about you again today." And he'll go, "What did you say this time?"
What'd you say?
And so now, if he is here listening, and he'd feel so ripped off. There's been nothing for him to take away from this.
No,
We haven't said anything
I
bad.
think he might like lime milk.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think I remember
Maybe.
liking it. So there you go, Aiden. We mentioned you again. We'll do it every show. But then he's got to watch every show. One more viewer. That's 3 viewers.
Can I just say, what a load of horse shit to say that this is 4.5 stars.
I was going to point that out.
And a health star rating. New Zealand, that is a fucking joke.
What is it supposed to mean, I mean, it's basically just milk.
Honestly, they use... I never go off this health star stuff, right? They use that to sell you things. It's like, it's such a joke.
But in all honesty, this is just milk, a bit of sugar, cocoa, and some flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not that bad. It's not too high in sugar.
It says 70% natural milk sugar.
Yeah. That's good. So, honestly, I really enjoyed this.
Yep.
I don't think I've had this brand in particular. I'm a fan of Chalky Milk. It's lovely. Goes down a treat. I really enjoyed this. It's been quite refreshing in this boiling hot room that we're set in. Need some aircon, or that's not even possible, really. But I'm willing to give this a pretty high score. I don't know about you, Jackson. I want to hear yours. Oh, this is tough. I don't know.
It is because, I mean, we've got
some good ones up there.
We've got Lucozade at the top of the list. We've then got the Blue Boss Coffee. Then we've got Iron Brew. I mean, those 3 drinks there, Iron Brew and Lucozade, might be fairly similar. I guess they're both kind of orange flavored, fizzier drinks.
I'm willing to put it at 3, but I'm thinking more 4 or 5, probably 4.
Yeah, I think Iron Brew's a bit nicer than this.
We go 4.
Yeah, I'm going to put it at 4th on the list.
Cool. Sitting at 4th in our list is Primo, chocolate milk.
We're in agreement. Look, we have been talking as well, just before we love you and leave you today. We are most likely going to be dropping our alcoholic segment on these Saturdays.
We are.
Due to Kobe going straight and narrow
I don't drink anymore.
So it doesn't make sense for us to review beers.
No.
Because it will become me reviewing beers. And no one likes drinking alone.
No.
Well,
no
actually,
one does.
we know someone. But
We do. I have to say that to him as well.
But yeah, I think we're going to be opening up possibly a new segment for our Saturday show. We don't know what exactly that will be yet.
No, we've got some ideas.
But again, we're open to hear your ideas. So let us know, and maybe it will become a part of the show. But if not, it was probably a really shit idea. So don't hit us with shit ideas.
Don't do it. We'll shit on you.
Okay?
All right, lads. That's basically it for today. Hope you've all had a great weekend and have a great week ahead. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Anything from you before we end this one?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm all right. I'm all good, actually.
All good.
Yeah, I think we can call it there. I think we've done enough.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Kept them happy.
I hope that we have. I mean, God.
All right, jog on.
Guys.
Off you go.
See you
on
later.
your bike.
Have a good one.
Get out of it.
Yeah.